Hey everyone, how are you? It is Lori Hoy here. I am coming to you from my kitchen and it is rather late and it has been a few days since I have been on live and I do apologize for that. There have been so many of you reaching out and asking, when are you coming back? I do apologize. It's just been one crazy day after another. But I just returned from Rock Haven University. Every year, two friends of mine who are professors there and also fitness instructors host the last 2 years they've called it a Bit of Fit-a-thon, and they have gathered many different types of fitness groups or people to come and just share 2 hours worth of fitness, and all the proceeds benefit the local women's shelter, which is right up my alley. It's awesome, and I love that that's what they do. And they get the students involved, and it is actually a community event. They've been trying to get the community and the students together. One of the things that I know about where I live, and I'm not going to get on a political whatever. When I moved here 13 years ago, one of the things that was mentioned was that there was a disconnect between the college kids and the people that live here. And so there are people that are involved with the university that try to do events that make a cohesive community between the two. But I'm not going to get onto that. But they are really doing some great things up there. And next year, I was late putting out that I was going to be doing the event this year because of just things being crazy. But next year, if you see that, it's always around this time of the year. Keep an eye out for it for next year. I know, save the date for 2020 and go, because it's a great event. So anyway, after I was done, I just did a quick set because, I was had a prior commitment, and so the event usually goes from 7 to 9 p.m., because college kids, they're up till midnight, whatever. And they can't get up early. Sorry, college kids. They can't get up early on Saturday morning and do these things, right? So anyway, after my set was done, there was a very tall gentleman that came over to me, obviously a college student based on my age versus his age. And he said, he really enjoyed what I was doing, but he just couldn't, I can't move that way. And, I tend to use very current music in my classes, not because of anything other than I like it too. I've always been like a top 40 girl. I do like some classic music, like classics, classic rock and older songs, but for the most part, I do use top 40, and I try really, really hard to get the clean versions, which is really difficult, and why they have to make them horrible, I don't know. But anyway, no, I digress. I titled this The Land of Can't because he stood there and he was saying, well, I can't do that, and I can't do this. And he was, and I said he was tall for a reason, because I said to him, okay, so do you play basketball? Okay, so I was stereotyping him because he was really tall. And he goes, oh yeah, I played all my life. I said, well, think back to the very first time you shot, the ball. Did it go in did it go in the hoop? And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, come on. What about a layup? And he goes, oh yeah. And I said, 3-pointer? He goes, no, wait a minute. First of all, I think he was really surprised that I knew that much about basketball in the first hand. Secondly, then he digressed and was like, oh, I don't know if I remember all the way back then. I said, exactly. You don't even remember back to the first time you tried that particular thing, because you're so good at it now that you can't imagine ever not being good at it, right? So right now, like, one of the things that I was thinking about as I was driving home is we all, unfortunately, are programmed somewhere back when in the land of can't. We think we can't do something because maybe one, somebody told us we couldn't, or two, we are just too afraid to try. And, in the last several years of my life, I'm not saying I've never been afraid of trying something, because I have. I'm not going to lie about that. But the thing that I think about now in my life at this age, which I do wish, it's not a regret, but I wish I had this viewpoint when I was in my 20s or even in my teens. You can do whatever you want. You can. In the groups that I coach, one of the things that I hear is I can't do this workout, or, I can't get up early, or I can't drink that shake, or I can't eat vegetables, or I can't find the time. If you saw any of my posts today, I don't know if you guys follow that power. I think it's called the Power of Positivity. I'm so glad I like that page, because it seems like every single day it gives me a message I need to hear, which is kind of cool. It's more than kind of cool. It is cool. But it talked about that. You have the choice. You and only you make the choices in your life and the decisions. And if you're letting somebody else make decisions for you, then that might be something you need to explore why. In everything that we do, from, if we're, I made the choice to finish off my pecan butter tonight. And should I at this hour? No, but I haven't eaten since, I can't even tell you what time it was today. It's just been a crazy afternoon. But I guess what I want to say to you is, for those of you out there that have young kids in your life, whether you're a mom, whether you're an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent, and you have young kids, I'm not the expert, but I think about listening to this, I don't even know how old he was, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, who just automatically said, I can't do that, without really trying. I want you to encourage your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, nephews, that they can, and that it's flippin' K if they try and they fail at it. And I talked about this with, I think, somebody today or yesterday. If I could rewind and go back into my beginning years of teaching and got into the mindset of wanting my kids to fail so much. Now, granted, there is a line, right? But we are perpetuating, and I'm not saying this, I guess I don't want to say this blanketly, because I don't believe this of every single person, but from what my experience and what I've seen in school, yes, I haven't been teaching for the last year now, but our kids can't handle failure. And I remember the past couple years I was teaching, I said to them, I want you to fail at something. I want you to have that opportunity to find in you the grit and the stamina and the oomph to fight a little bit harder, to learn something, and not just say I can't and not ever try. Because if you don't try it, yeah, you're right, you can't do it. And I think it was, I'm probably going to misquote this. I think it was Henry Ford. If you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, oh man, now I forget it. If you think you can't, you're right. I think that's just all it was. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. That's it. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I challenge you to get out of the land of can't. Okay, so first time at my dance fitness class, will you be able to do every single routine that I do like I do it? Doesn't mean you're a failure at it, right? Doesn't mean you can't. It means you need more practice. If I used to play the piano, and I haven't played in years, and I took some lessons and I never became proficient at it. And if I wanted to start playing the piano again, I'm sure I'm not going to remember every single note of every single song that I used to play because I haven't practiced. I am faced daily with people in my life that are proving me wrong that they can do it. And these are the people that reached out for help in their health and fitness, where they have lived in the land of can't. I can't lose weight. I can't do that exercise. I can't tie my shoes. I can't walk up the stairs. I can't look at the number on the scale. I can't play with my kids. I can't catch my breath. I can't stop this disease. And a lot of times when they get to that land of can't, they just stop trying. And I encourage you, if you are someone that's stuck in the land of can't in your health and fitness, that you try. Whether it's, you join me in my group or you just start walking today. You stop, you look at the food that you're putting on the end of your fork and saying, this isn't going to heal me, this is going to hurt. And not say that you can't stop drinking coffee or you can't stop eating donuts. You can do it. Is it going to be extremely easy every step of the way? Heck no. Listen, I made this nut butter. This to me is like, I'm not downplaying people that have addiction, please. This is like crack to me. Like, I think about this nut butter. It was so good. So good. I loved it. Part of the reason why I loved it so much is because I made it. I was really proud of myself because I tried something that I've never tried before. And the first time I made nut butter, it didn't go so well. So I kept trying it. This one actually was a little runny. I probably put a little bit too much oil in it. But it was so good. And if I had never tried it, I never know. You never know. I kind of lost my train of thought. Howard, I'm sorry, I can't see your comment. Let me see. Preach it, Lori. I've survived Army boot camp and the PSP Academy with willpower. Prayer and family helped, but it came down to will. Yeah, and a lot of people think they don't have it, and I don't necessarily like to say willpower. There is an inner drive you have to find, and it's not about being perfect. It's not about being, I don't even know what else it is. Howard, I don't know if I would be as successful at that kind of thing as you have, but I don't know. I've never tried it. So to say that, I could never do that, you don't know. A lot of people say about my class, I can't dance. Well, maybe you can't dance like me, but you can dance. You can move your body. You can try and learn the steps. You can smile. You can laugh. You can move around. That's what we do in my class. It's not just about, the actual steps. It's about coming and joining a group of people and forgetting about all that. Because when I'm doing my class, there is no worries. I'm not worrying about my bills. I'm not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. I am there for that hour or 15 minutes or whatever length it is. I am there in the moment, and I'm watching every single person that's in my class. I love it. And if I would have said way back in 2011, when my very dear friend Gigi Dammer said to me, you need to go get certified. And if I would have said, I can't do that. I can't. I never would have found that joy in my life that I have when I do this dance fitness. And it's not about even the fitness part of it. It's because I love to dance so much. I didn't take the opportunity when I was young to go and get dance lessons for whatever reason. I didn't do it. It's not that I couldn't, I just didn't. And now that's my way of just releasing all of the stuff that life can hand you, and it's hard. But anyway, I just wanted to come in and share that with you. And if you are someone that right now you're pretty stuck in that land of can't, I urge you to reach out. I'm here to help. We can have a conversation. I had two very amazing conversations today, two totally different conversations with two women today. One was an artist that's going to be putting some of her artwork in the center that she responded to one of my videos that I had done, sent me this amazing colored pencil drawing. It was beautiful. And I'm like, I need to meet you. And she was wonderful. And I just love her to death already. And I don't know that much about her. And then I sat down with another woman today who's looking for a little bit of support and guidance and help in her health. And we had an amazing conversation. Like, when I sat and talked to her, it was like I was listening to myself. It was awesome. And it was just like, it was another one of those moments in my life where I'm so blessed, and I know this is what I'm supposed to do, even when it's hard, and even when I come in here and might cry a little bit, because I do it. It is just where I'm supposed to be. And if I would have said I couldn't do this, or I can't quit my job, or I can't be a coach, or I can't open a fitness center, or I can't talk to women about how they can become healthier and happier, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. You wouldn't be listening. And that's okay. You can turn me off anytime you want, right? But it's just, you have to find that thing. You truly do. I feel for myself, I've somewhere along the way purchased a full-time membership at Comparison Camp. It's easy as I age to look at others' journey and fill up with self-doubt and bow out. Laura, you're not the only one. And you know what? I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, because I don't even like to say the word perfect. I got to figure out another word. It still happens. There are still people out there that I look at and I think, oh, why can't I? And then I stop myself. I can. I might not choose to go that path. It is difficult because we have been conditioned to do that. It's kind of part of our human nature to do that comparison thing. But what I do know is that doesn't have to be your story. You can change that Comparison Camp story. And it takes practice. It takes self-love. It takes learning to love every part of yourself and realize that that person's journey is that person's journey. Yours will never look like theirs. It won't look like mine. It's your journey. And yes, we get stuck in the land of camp, or the land of can't, and then in the land of Comparison Camp sometimes. But the thing that I think that the thing I think that's beneficial for you right now is that you are aware of that. When we're not aware of those things, when we're not aware that we're continuing to say I can't, or that I'm comparing myself to somebody else who has a totally different story than I do, then that's where it's the harm is done, and we can't get out. I shouldn't say can't. See? So anyway, I hope that was helpful, guys. I mean, I really wanted to share that. I thought it was pretty awesome. I mean, I was there for 15 minutes and I had to leave, and I was sad because I really enjoyed the event, but I just had some things I needed to get done here tonight. And one of the things is to share this with you guys. And, I hope that when I come on, I am helpful, or at least get you to think about some things differently. Your health, your wellness, your emotional health, your relationships. Everything that I do in life is not whatever. And I guess if I'm trying to say to you not to compare yourself, then who am I? I mean, to me, the only person's opinion that really matters or would be mine, but the only other entity that knows my heart is God. And that's my relationship that I have to be most concerned with, is my relationship with Him and how I live my life. And I hope in what I'm doing that He is pleased. That hasn't always been my life. So anyway, I'm not going to get into that tonight. It's getting late. So I still have a couple things I need to do before I go to bed tonight, but I hope that was helpful, guys. Again, if you are a mom, an aunt, an uncle, grandparent, please, I encourage you to try and encourage your kiddos to live in the land of can instead of can't. They'll be much more successful in life. They'll fail, but they'll learn from those failures, and they'll develop grit and and determination and power. And that's what we all need. That's what we all need. All right, guys, have a great evening. I'd like to say, have a great rest of your day, but for most of you, it's kind of time. You're an inspiration, Lori. God bless. Oh, thank you, Howard. I appreciate that, and I receive your kind words. I really do. That's really sweet. So anyway, guys, if you feel inclined, I know I always ask this, but if you think this might help somebody, if you know of anyone that might need to hear these words, I really appreciate you sharing the video. And again, I always say, tell them why. Tell them that you're thinking of them and that you care about them and that they might find some kind of value in what I have to say today, okay? Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.